Welcome to the Roman Rulers. I'm your host, Chuck Tanraty, and this podcast takes you on a chronological journey through the fascinating reigns of each ruler of Rome. Today we unravel the life and legacy of Servius Tullius, the sixth king of Rome, and a figure as shrouded in myth as he is rooted in reform. From his mysterious origins to his transformative policies and tragic end, Servius stands as one of Rome's most influential and enigmatic monarchs. Servius Tullius' story begins steeped in mystery and legend. Roman tradition suggests his mother, Ocracia, was a captured Latin princess, enslaved after the Romans seized her city, Corniculum. Some versions of the tale claim she conceived Servius through divine intervention, when a disembodied flame or phallus, said to represent a deity, impregnated her. Others, less fantastical, name her as the concubine or wife of a nobleman in the royal household. Servius's infancy is marked by a portentous sign. A nimbus of fire was seen around his head as he slept, interpreted as a mark of divine favor and future greatness. Raised within the household of King Tarquinius Priscus and Queen Tanaquil, Servius demonstrated exceptional intelligence and charisma. Tanaquil, a shrewd political operator, became his greatest champion. Upon the assassination of her husband, Tanaquil declared Servius as king regent, ensuring continuity and stability. In time, Servius solidified his reign with the support of the Senate and the Roman people. Though he was Rome's first monarch not to be formally elected, Servius's reign from 578 to 535 BC is most notable for his sweeping reforms, which laid the groundwork for Rome's transition from monarchy to republic. Central to his legacy is the Servian Constitution, which restructured Roman society and governance. Servius introduced the first census, dividing the population into classes based on wealth and military capability. This reorganization aimed to include Rome's commoners, the plebeians, within the political and military frameworks, challenging the dominance of the aristocracy. Citizens were grouped into centuries based on property ownership, with wealthier citizens wielding greater influence in voting assemblies. Though the system favored the elite, it granted Rome's lower classes a voice for the first time in its history. Under Servius, Rome expanded territorially and physically. He annexed the Quirinal, Viminal, and Esquiline hills, and fortified the city with what became known as the Servian Wall. This expansion reflected his vision of a unified and protected Rome, ready to wield influence in the region. Servius is also credited with establishing the Compitalia festivals, honoring the lares, household deities, and emphasizing community spirit across Rome's neighborhoods, or vici. His diplomatic prowess was equally remarkable. Servius forged alliances with the Latin League, symbolized by the construction of a grand temple to Diana on the Aventine Hill, a gesture toward unity among the Latin cities. Some accounts also credit him with instituting Rome's first official coinage, though this remains debated by historians. Despite his accomplishments, Servius's reign was not without controversy. His populist policies and challenges to the patrician class bred resentment among Rome's elite. This tension culminated in his downfall, orchestrated by his ambitious daughter, Tullia, and her husband, Lucius Tarquinius. Tullia and Tarquinius conspired to seize power, exploiting the king's advancing age and diminishing support among the aristocracy. In a dramatic confrontation at the Senate, Tarquinius publicly denounced Servius, accusing him of being a usurper born of a slave. When Servius attempted to defend his authority, he was thrown down the steps of the Senate and assassinated. The final indignity came when Tullia, driving her chariot, ran over her father's lifeless body, staining her name in Roman memory. Servius Tullius's death marked the end of Rome's benevolent monarchy. His successor, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, ruled with an iron fist, ultimately leading to the monarchy's abolition and the birth of the Roman Republic. Servius, however, remains a towering figure in Roman history. He is celebrated as a reformer who sought to balance power between Rome's elites and commoners, a second founder who expanded the city's boundaries and social fabric. Servius's legacy also lives on in Rome's religious and cultural traditions. The Compitalia festivals and the worship of Fortuna, the goddess of luck and prosperity, were closely associated with his reign. While his life is layered with myth, his achievements, both real and symbolic, reflect Rome's evolving identity as a city of resilience, reform, and ambition. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Roman Rulers. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tune in tomorrow as we delve into the reign of Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, the last king of Rome, and a ruler whose tyranny sparked a revolution. I'm Chuck Tanraty, and until next time, Vale.